Gear and loot general, or general gear and loot. So the average expertise will now only include your shield expertise if you have one equipped. They added refinement counts to gypsum tooltip descriptions, updated the tooltip of the topaz gypsum attunement potion to reflect the number of gypsum drops the player can get per day, added text to perk crafting items to describe what items the perks can be used with. Archaeologian's lantern no longer drops with an ice gem socketed. Corrected appearance of Chartis's boss armor dropped in Lazarus instrumentality mutators. Existing pieces of this armor will not be affected by this change and will maintain their current appearance. However, all new drops of this armor will feature the updated appearance. They increased the gear score of the item Captain's Command Longsword to its intended 350 gear score. Same thing with Swordbound Balakor Longsword to its intended 350 gear score. And same thing with the Vile Longsword. It is now its intended 350 gear score. Most named items tier 2 through tier 4 have had substantial improvements made across the board. These improvements include, but are not limited to, increased gear score, improved perk combinations, reduced level requirements, and increased durability values. Existing named items in players' inventories will not be affected by this change and will maintain their current stats and perks. However, all new drops and crafts of named items going forward will feature the updated stats and perks. For Tier 5, named items that used to drop between 500 gear score and 600 gear score have been set to always drop at 590 gear score. They will no longer scale with the player's expertise, as the player will be able to use them at a gear score of at least 590. Once a player increases their expertise for the appropriate slot to 600, they'll be able to upgrade these items. Now, please note, while the majority of named items have been impacted, there have been exceptions and categories across the board that were not updated. This is intended. Due to the sheer number of items, a full list is beyond the scope of these patch notes. Thank God. I'm going to have no voice tomorrow at work, and maybe I'll weasel out of work and go home early. I feel a flu coming on. Summertime Orange Spotlight furnishing item upped to epic quality to match its blue counterpart. Named items will now have an animated header, which is really, really cool looking, and border to make them stand out from other items. The Celebrant's Firework Blunderbuss was previously using the incorrect appearance. This has been updated to the correct item appearance. The martial requirements for the Corrupted Heart Spear have been adjusted as well as shifted to be more wood heavy. The Tempest crafted items should now require the correct amount of materials and now award the proper amount of experience. They updated the Defiled Blunderbuss to the correct appearance, updated the cooldown of the Topaz Gypsum Attunement Potion to reflect a 24-hour cooldown instead of a 20-hour cooldown. And they also updated the tooltip to reflect the number of drops the player can get per day. Updating the Tier 3 Warhammer Crystalline Crusher to use a more crystalline appearance. Shields are no longer dyed for free when canceling from preview mode. They fixed the Devil Went Down to Eternum skin naming issue, fixed a visual issue with Forest Warden's cape collision, updated item icons for faction hatchets, fixed dye channels for Light Curse Zealot armor, and the Warhammer Dream Crusher should no longer incorrectly roll as a 4-perk legendary item. Gear, loot, and rewards changes. So, named items received from Outpost Rush can now go from epic to legendary upon upgrading expertise to 600 gear score. They added a named blunderbuss to the Outpost Rush rewards chest, added a tower shield to the Outpost Rush Conqueror set, added a tower shield to the War rewards set. Dynasty Warrior's musket has been removed from drop tables. The Outpost Rush reward chest now has a guaranteed chance to give an expertise bump. Page 2 music sheets for Young King Stanley can now drop in POI's neighboring Bunny Island. Some non-functional crafting materials have been removed from drop tables and the trading posts. They renamed the Stonecutter's hat to Stonecutter's goggles. And summer pattern recipes now have their own category in the crafting panel. Added new obtainable gear to elite POIs, so you can now get Vambrace of Corrupted Rage, the Mark, Primordial Spear, Primordial Warhammer, Primordial Void Gauntlet, Primordial Ice Gauntlet, Soulforged Blight, Shard of One, and Rumbling Demise. And they also added a new named blunderbuss to the War reward chest. So we've got quite a few notable fixes. They fix an issue that caused mutator boss loot to sometimes not award anything to players. This change also slightly restructures the way mutator loot is provided. Bosses at difficulty 10 now provide an additional roll for a piece of their unique armor and weapons. They fix an issue that caused Captain Thorpe and Empress Zhao to not drop timeless shards at the correct rate. Fixed an issue that prevented the Invasion Void Gauntlet from dropping. Fixed an issue where quest rewards displayed in the journal and when accepting quests would not show item quantities above 1. The named items Malevolent Defender and Elegant Lamplighter were previously not dropping correctly. They have been fixed and can drop from the Protector's equipment cache. Fix an issue with Legacy Wild Rage Warhammer having an armor perk. Fix an issue that caused invasion shields to drop from the wrong table. Fix an issue that caused war named items to not drop from war reward chests. Fix an issue where Armored Hide of the Scorpion Queen used the item description instead of its name within its tooltip. Fix an issue that caused the music pages for Path Less Traveled to not display their page numbers. Fix an issue with low-level regeneration potions dropping at higher levels. Yes! That's probably like the single best update. Fix an issue with the engineer hat item icon. Fix the tooltip on the taxidermized blue-blooded barb. Fix typos on varying blunderbusses. Fix an issue that caused certain crafting clothing to have stretch icons in the outfitting station. Fixed icons for the drag attach PvP armor. Fix the tier 5 jewel crafting and Tanner Pants icon. Fix an issue with Thunderous Rebuffs icon. Fix an visual issue with the Forgotten Helm tier 4 icon not matching its model. Fix a visual issue and added cloth to the armor set. Fix a visual issue with Azure Plains Twitch armor. Fix a visual issue with Dancing Flames skirt. Fix a visual issue with Death's Beckoning chest apparel. Fix a visual issue with Death's Beckoning cape with the Smile breastplate apparel. Fix some cases where cloth objects on characters were deforming incorrectly. Fix the icon for the non-prestige PvP armor sets. Fix an issue that caused tier 2 weapons to have a perk removed. These will now spawn as tier 4 weapons with the expected rarity and number of perks. Fix the missing textures for the hatchet Blood and Flesh. Fix an issue with Switcher's Revenge having an armor perk. Fix an issue where certain armor and armor skins would clip through your arms on the main menu if you did not have any gloves equipped. Fix an issue where a few new MTX weapons were missing their sheathing sound effects. Fix an unintentional indent in the Void Gauntlet description. Fix a visual issue with the Verdant Trapper coat. Fix dye channels for Nereid shields. Fix stretching and clipping issues with the Alchemist set. Fix a visual issue with Engineer's set apparel. Fix a visual issue with the tainted coat when players enter their inventory. Fix multiple issues with bows that were assigned gauntlets instead of quivers. And fix a visual issue with the Anubian Conquest armor skin that caused the skirt to temporarily become invisible. So salvage changes. Deft soft boots can now be salvaged. Fix an issue that caused some gathering armor to not use the perfect salvage system when salvaged. Outpost rush and war gear rewards can now be perfect salvage. Hell yes. Fix legendary fishing poles not giving proper salvage scrap. Fix an issue that caused perfect salvage to not occur on PvP items from the reward track. Fix an issue that caused the confirmation pop-up for a salvage to report items as guaranteed drops when there was a less than 100% chance for the item. Fix an issue that caused the Chain of Zane named amulet to not salvage an expedition materia. It can now also be crafted at an outfitting station with Lazarus materia. Some housing changes. So based on player feedback, we've added salvage lock to furniture items to prevent accidental salvages. Very nice. They modified the description of housing trophies that provide crafting benefits to be more clear, updated the housing storage chest strings to more accurately display their storage values, resolved an issue that caused the singing fish housing item to stop playing music, fixed an issue where abandoning a house while on max settlement storage would drop housing items as a drop bag, potentially causing the player to lose those items. Players must now have at least one unique item slot on settlement storage in order to abandon a house. Excess items will be added to hidden storage. They fixed multiple issues with housing guide tooltips, fixed an unintentional indent in the Rayfin Barb and Blue-Blooded Barb housing item descriptions, and they fixed a situation that prevented players from leaving their houses, which actually happened to me once. Umbral. So Outpost Rush shields no longer become legendary when upgraded with Umbral. That sucks. Trade skills. So, crafting. We now have rune glass gems. Players can now combine ancient glyph stones found in secret locations with charged sand they've refined from sandstone to craft powerful rune glass gems. These resources can only be found in Brimstone sands, and for anybody that wants a guide on how to craft these, where to farm the materials, how to find the materials, and all that stuff, I have a really, really good rune glass gem guide, so check it out. Rune glass gems combine the effects of any gem with an additional power depending on which ancient glyphs are used to craft them. Players can then slot their rune glass gem into any armor or weapon gem slot to receive both effects. Perks provided by the glyph stones always grant an offensive bonus even when applied to armor. This gives players new strategies to consider when setting up their gear. Rune glass gems and the resources used to craft them can also be freely bought, sold, and traded to support gatherers and crafters. We have added a first craft trade skill XP bonus that takes effect the first time you craft a particular item. And I made a video on that a while ago and said that you may be able to get that bonus when you do a big batch craft. And somebody said, no, that's probably not going to happen. And that somebody was correct, and I was wrong. You do not get that bonus XP for the whole batch of stuff you craft. Even if it's your first time crafting that item, you only get the bonus for the very first one. And then all the rest in that big batch of crafted items have the normal experience. Now, we want to encourage players to craft a variety of items rather than the same ones over and over. So we have added a 2-time trade skill experience bonus for the first time you craft an item. This will speed up crafting leveling for players that utilize this effectively, and items that provide a first craft bonus will be identified with a chevron icon on the crafting selection to denote its availability, and this icon will disappear once the bonus has been consumed. We have added a new crafting item, the Golden Scarab. Once again, got a nice video on that. Check it out if you want to know more information. This item, when used in special crafting recipes, will give the crafter the ability to pick 2 perks for their craft. These recipes will also require 3 timeless shards and 25 crafting mods, so pretty spendy. The Golden Scarab can be found in the new zone Brimstone Sands. There are rare drops in Glyph, Sulfur, and Elite chests. They've got new consumable recipes. Players can cook new attribute boosting recipes using fresh scorpion, armadillo, and enriched red meats they attain from animals that call Brimstone Sands home. Cactus flesh can be used to mix a refreshing desert sunrise, which will minimize any dot afflictions the player may suffer. Aloe gel can be gathered from desert succulents to produce alkahest or acid tinctures. The latter is especially helpful when braving the dangerous acid pools found in the zone. 3 new dye colors celebrate Brimstone Sands desert culture: turquoise oasis, cactus sage, and baked red clay. These new colors can be crafted almost entirely from pigments harvested from the desert rose prisma bloom, a plant indigenous to the new zone. And by the way, aloe gel can be gathered to produce alkahest. Holy crap. Video idea. So, culinarians in Brimstone Sands have a secret ingredient that gives their dishes a unique flavor: fish sauce. This new ingredient gives anglers a new way to get value from their daily catch. Whoa. Chitin has been added. So this is harvested from scorpions. This new resource can be used to craft chitin armor sets, which have increased acid resistance. Chitin can also be used to craft chitin padding, which can be slotted into armor pieces to provide acid resistance. Chitin can also be refined to create a new Tier 5 material, chitin plate, which can be used as a Tier 5 material in other armor recipes. Made rarity of Tier 5 weapon schematics consistent. Fix an issue that caused crafting recipes to not properly highlight in the crafting screen when they were part of an active quest. Added messaging for crafting recipes when the resulting item's gear score is based on your expertise. Crafted named items have had their required trade skill level reduced. Tier now requires Tier 1 or level 1, Tier 3 requires level 50, and Tier 4 requires level 100. Crafting a pristine opal earring with a runestone stopwatch no longer gives a pristine onyx earring. Crafting a pristine onyx earring with a runestone stopwatch no longer gives a pristine opal earring. Crafting skills can now be hovered on the crafting screen to view the amount required to reach the next level. Fix an issue that caused garnet, gypsum, or recipes to display the recipe name incorrectly. Fix an issue that caused the incorrect attribute chances to appear on crafting items using the Brimstone stopwatch. Lowered the material requirements on Expedition replica heavy boots to be consistent with other crafted boots and replicas. New or non-arena legendary pattern crafting costs have been reduced by 66%. Topaz Gypsum attunement potions now grant Arcana trade skill experience when crafted, and they fix certain dynasty furniture granting lower furnishing XP when crafted. Gathering. So stamina will now regenerate while gathering. They adjusted the level requirements for some of the gatherable resources to either increase accessibility or to make room for the new materials from Brimstone Sands. So for logging, they added young cacti at 0. They added mature cacti at 50, and ironwood is now 150 instead of 175. For mining, they added sandstone at 105, brimstone at 130, lodestone is now 75, it was 105, and orichalcum ore is now 150 from 175. Harvesting, you can get aloe gel at 105, and wire fiber is now 150 instead of 175. Now, based on PTR feedback, we compressed the level buckets for the skinning trade skill from 16 down to 4. This substantially expands the availability of creatures for players of all levels. The new buckets are as follows. So trade skill level 0 to 49 can skin animals up to level 30. Trade skill 50 to 99 can skin animals up to level 45. Skill level 100 to 149 can skin animals up to level 60, and trade skill level 150 can skin animals up to level 67. So for refining, we've added some new recipes, all known by default to refining material conversion, giving players an additional avenue to create a limited number of rare resources per day. Fishing, they fixed an issue that caused accepted notifications to not properly interrupt fishing when opening other screens. Completed fishing quests now award fishing XP. Fishing now remembers your last selected bait. Fix an issue that caused a player to enter a bad character state when teleporting while fishing. Fix an issue where the bait menu could still be accessed when exiting fishing mode. Legendary fish now count toward fishing quest progression. Fix an issue with players' movement while holding a fishing pole. Added a back-end check to prevent players from activating fishing while actively in combat. Fixed erroneous requires fishing tool message when you enter fishing mode with a full inventory. And they fixed an issue where the fishing hotspots label and the gathering skill screen were illegible in some languages. Musical instruments. Certain actions, like camping, no longer get queued if triggered right after creating a musical performance. They fixed broken animations when accepting a musical performance invite while resting at a camp. Fix an issue where the client could potentially crash in rare cases when in musical performance. Fix an issue where in rare cases 2 musical performance zones could be created right next to each other. Fix the music performance floor effect from projecting down to all floors of a multi-story house. Musical performance buffs are now sorted alphabetically with no effect listed first. They added an X icon for songs and instruments that are unavailable. Polish results banner by reducing overall size, updating placement, and adding glowing stars and a glyph circle frame. They reduced the exit performance hold time to 0.5 seconds, added a back-end check to prevent players from activating musical performances while actively in combat, fix an issue that caused a disappearing performance zone when rapidly switching from zone to zone, fix an issue where players dropping from performances could cause other players to unequip instruments during a performance in progress. They removed redundant text from musical performance buff tooltips. You now cannot access PvP toggle pop-up while in a musical performance. And they changed the musical performance song book player count from displaying max count to displaying range of players supported, example 1 through 5. Fixed an issue where unlocking multiple music sheets would show overlapping text when playing in German. Fix errant UI messages or message when attempting to start a musical performance during an invasion or war. This seemingly indicated that musical performances are allowed during invasion and wars when they are not. They fixed grammar issues found within several musical instrument achievements, added prevention to stop players from performing a song if there was an object placed above them that would prevent them from standing. Added progression achievements for the music trade skill at 20, 40, 80, 140, and 200 skill level. Updated instrument crafting and salvaging recipes. Tier 2 to Tier 4 instruments now salvage into a new instrument trinket that is used for crafting their higher tier instrument. The instrument itself is no longer used. This change was made due to issues with the previous crafting recipe potentially causing the wrong item to be consumed when crafting. We really like the idea of upgrading or leveling up a single instrument to higher tiers and believe this change still captures that flavor while being a safer way for players to manage their items. Updated performance note bar to be colored based on the equipped instrument's gear score and influence on the hit zone. Updated the size, font, and artwork for reward banner at the end of the performance. UX, UI, and social changes. So trading. They fix an issue that caused coin to disappear when receiving coin in the middle of a trade if the amount sent to that player would push them over the wallet cap, and they corrected cheers and mic drop icons. Group Finder. Blocked player lobbies will no longer appear on the Group Finder list. They changed notifications that appear when a player is kicked from their group to better convey that they were kicked from the group as opposed to leaving voluntarily. In-game store. They fix an issue that caused the store items to be marked as quest items in the tooltip. Fix the character transfer store item to properly show the number of character transfer tokens credited to your account. Fix an issue when previewing weapon skins that cause the weapon to not appear in the player's hands. Fix an issue that caused crashes when using the store. Selecting a weapon skin when one isn't already equipped will no longer transition the character from unsheathed to sheathed when previewing skins. The base will be selected and shown instead. Store search is no longer case sensitive. Fix an issue that caused a rare crash when previewing items in the store. Fix an issue that caused cloth from skins to persist on armor while dying. And fix an issue that caused offhand arm animation breaks after previewing shield skins. Trade posts. They fix an issue that caused the perk list in the trading post to have no information about perks that scale higher on weapons. Fix an issue that caused expired contracts to show an invalid completion time. Fix an issue that caused the trading post to stop processing queued actions if the player teleported. And fix an issue that caused items with perks to incorrectly display their rarity as common. Notable fixes. So players can now bind arrow and end keys to actions. Block players' lobbies will no longer appear on the group finder list. Fix the rotation of the Forsaken Great Axe icon. Fix an issue that caused cooldown for abilities to not display properly if the player swapped weapons outside of combat. Change front of rewards in journal. Fix faction rank advancement rewards to show correct rank name. Event currency icon no longer disappears when scrolling quickly in the event shop. Faction initiation quests are now labeled. Fix notification messages to properly display what changed the company name. Fix an issue that caused the aim reticle to sometimes show ammo count for melee weapons. Fix an issue that caused an item's tooltip to show the skin icon when the item was not using a skin. Fix an issue that caused the blunderbuss's mortar charge ability to display inconsistent ammo count when nearing an obstruction. Fix an issue that caused the targeting healing group members display to remain on screen in menus. Fix an issue with stack splitting for Azoth vials when you are at or near your Azoth cap. Fix the icon for the Orichalcum Heavy Greaves for the Orichalcum Tower Shield. Fix the time penalty for going over mutated expedition clear times. The musical performance user interface no longer overlaps with the faction control point user interface. Fix an issue that caused objective markers to disappear upon returning to the main menu and logging back into the game world. Fix an issue where right-clicking on the map would occasionally fail to place a waypoint and the cursor would jump to a random spot on the map. Help, recruitment, and trade chat now default to feed instead of alert. Global refining yield boost translations have been updated for all languages so that there is no text overlap. Change the help chat to be territory bound based on the game mode the player is in. Fix an issue that caused the login queue to not report the correct information. Fix an issue that caused objective markers to disappear when returning to the main menu after logging back on. Fix an issue that caused a song title to go outside of the scroll box when selecting a song for musical performances. Music rewards now refresh when the player's music skill levels up. Fix an issue that caused notification banners to reappear after entering game modes. Fix an issue that allowed players to continue moving while interacting with storage sheds. Fix a typo in the missions section of the achievements panel. Fix an issue with default data appearing on friends list. Fix an issue that caused the loot ticker to fill up after consistently picking up items but not update with new ones. Fix an issue that caused only invasion-themed loading screens to appear after a player participated in an invasion. Fix an issue that prevented players from opening reward containers if they opened ones that contained coin, Azoth salt too quickly. Fix an issue that caused the map to open when pressing I in the tutorial, or is that, yeah, that's I. Fix an issue that caused prices for faction items to not update if you were in the Ebonscale Reach faction shop while the territory changed owners, thereby changing the discount. Fix an issue that caused a blank reward screen to appear when quickly opening reward containers. Fix an issue that caused you to start walking while trying to split stack in the inventory via the split hotkey, which is control. Fix an issue that caused the completed title of the town project tile not to localize. Fix an issue where the button to leave an invasion did not appear in the escape menu during an invasion. Fix an issue that caused the item rarity animations to be incorrect if you open multiple reward containers in quick succession. Fix an issue that caused the text of fishing hotspots in the fishing trade skills screen to overlap for some languages. Fix an issue that caused the town project's board scroll bar to block the total progress and part of mission cards during an event. Fix an issue that caused the victory screen to not show the proper negative value when players completed a mutated run over the goal time. Fix an issue that caused the wrong player animations to trigger while previewing weapon and tool skins. Fix an issue that caused the open next button on the reward container opening pop-up to not choose the same container type you had previously opened. Fix an issue that allowed players to use the recall to in button in their starting area before they reach the town. Fix an issue with inconsistent coloring between orichalcum ore and ingot icons, and they updated the Asmodeum ingot icon to further distinguish it from the orichalcum ingots icon. And what about the sacred ground? Can we get a change of color for that, please? Fix an issue that caused text to overflow on the event button on the main menu in some languages. Fix unnecessary capitalizations and loading screen tips. Fix various inconsistent capitalizations within the settings menu. Fix various messages that incorrectly referred to wars when trying to leave 3v3 arenas. Fix an issue that caused equip and unequip sounds to not always play. Fix an issue that made some players unable to see their company members in the members list. Fix an issue with the chat character count becoming inaccurate when deleting linked items from the chat text. Fix an issue that prevented players from interacting with NPCs when standing too close. Fix an issue that caused the remnant visual effects to remain after they should be destroyed. Fix some lighting issues inside of the Malevolence point of interest in Eden Grove that previously caused some rectangular, unnatural-looking light patches to show, and fix the visuals of a fishing hotspot that was underwater in Cutlass Keys. Fix an issue that caused players to not receive the move away prompt when they were obstructing their camp from completion. Fix an issue that allowed players to place camps in settlements under certain circumstances. Fix an issue that caused the dialogue screen to fail to reappear after turning in a quest. Fix an issue that caused the Ancient Bridge and Weaver's Fen to not appear on the map. Fix an issue that caused players to get stuck in certain locations within the Ebonscale settlement. Fix several fishing hotspots that did not appear on the map. Fix the spawn location for Timeless Lion. Fix an issue that triggered the falling sound twice when jumping downstairs. Fix an issue that caused chat delay settings to reset to a lower number when set to a value above 255. The retry connection button found on the main menu during connection issues had been localized in all languages. The housing purchase screen now shows your correct amount of coin. Fix an issue that caused pinned quest objectives UI to overlap with the armory UI during war preparation. Fix an issue that caused enemy nameplates to display over the invasion or HUD. The status effects on boss nameplates no longer cut off when the nameplate is at its highest point on the screen. And finally, they fixed an issue that caused the Battlebred tooltip to show an incorrect damage absorption value. It now shows 5% instead of 15%. And we've got a bunch of quality of life improvements. Added a 2-second delay between instrument changes for players to alleviate issues with too many simultaneous notifications. Added additional gear scaling messages to the Expedition Mutator screen. Added highlights to all weapon ability tooltips to emphasize important keywords and numerical values. Fixed an issue that caused a completed PvP reward track to not show the bonus Azoth salt received for unselected rewards. This was purely a visual issue. You still receive the correct amount of salt. Fix an issue that caused the crafting recipes to change order after opening a new crafting session. Fix an issue that caused the siege weapon health bar to improperly align. Improve messaging for notifying players of the coin cap while salvaging. Improve the opening sequence for learning schematics, recipes, and music sheets to resemble the flow of opening a chest. In the select ability flyout in the mastery tree menus, the abilities are now sorted in the same order the abilities are elsewhere. Musical performance now have an updated audience interface with song difficulty colors and cleaner labels. Reduce the frequency of the spend points banner appearing in the HUD, which is a heads up display. Territories are now sorted by name in the storage shed, which is awesome. Updated numerous perk icons with more accurate icons. Improved batch crafting items to have a more efficient flow when crafting items in bulk. Improve the in-combat icon with new animations when the player enters and exits combat. Removed the hotkey binding for the take all button from storage to avoid players accidentally triggering it when opening the storage. Updated the progression milestone icons to emphasize the primary rewards. UI alerts for war and invasion declarations will no longer trigger when players are inside an instance, such as an expedition, outpost rush, or a 3v3 arena match. These will instead be queued up and played once the player leaves the instance. Certain non-English characters can now be used for new character names, such as B. Change the Azoth costs, or Cool B. Change the Azoth cost to switch factions to 0. Retreating enemies now show immune when they are hit. Added a sound effect for when a new inventory slot is unlocked. Removed deprecated information or deprecated information from the war declaration menu. Removed a chest that would decrease the weight capacity of the settlement storage below the current usage. Excess items will no longer be placed in a drop bag. Added a missing waterfowl compass icon. The same pop-up when inviting a player to a company from the company flyout was added to the social flyout. Added a minor notification when trying to use a consumable that cannot be used while in combat. Added audible cues when a respawn point is on a timer or becomes unlocked. Added faction colors to faction token icons. Improved the character list box in the main menu to make its presentation consistent with the character dropdown. Increase the maximum number of status effects to display for boss markers to 5. Opening inventory is now allowed in all water depths up to deep and drowning. Inventory and fishing state will now exit upon drowning. Disabled the opening of craftable containers in the crafting screen as it doesn't currently support opening more than one stacked item. The faction mission board will now show territory standing instead of invasion messages. Added weight displays for each storage location in the storage dropdown to make it easy to see where you've stashed your icons or your items. Guys, this is amazing right here. You have, maybe you do, but it is so much better. It is so much easier to figure out what's where. You know, if you have items in storage, it is amazing. Players on probation are now forbidden from interacting with the company wallet for war declarations. They fixed an issue that caused player damage numbers to not display when the player disabled floating damage numbers. Fixed an issue where multipliers on the experience bar would show more than 2 decimal points. Fixed an issue with the AFK warning not working properly after entering an expedition while the AFK warning was active. Fixed an issue where some wars were being canceled instead of rescheduled if a server crash happened. Claim point markers will now always be visible in Outpost Rush. Fixed an issue where changing ingredients in a way that lowered the potential gear score of the item would not update the amount of Azoth you could spend on the craft. Fixed an issue where players weren't getting progress towards equipment attribute achievements. Fixed an issue where players would lose musical instrument buffs after logging out or a crash. Fixed an issue where some achievement completions wouldn't count towards the total completed achievement count. And finally, some audio issues fixed. Fixed an issue where audio would occasionally drop out when switching to low-end settings. Game mode music like dual PvP arena, dungeon, outpost rush. Oh, they said dungeon. Siege war and invasion now resets when the loading screen appears. Fix an issue that caused the Barnacles and Black Powder expedition to use the ambient music from Cutlass Key's territory. Added new sounds for escaping and continuing in the character select screen. Fix an issue that caused currently playing voice lines to have priority over new voice lines when a player interacted with a different NPC. Fix an issue that caused the fishing pole to use the wrong equip and unequipped sounds. Fix an issue that caused sounds to not play during the mortar reload animation. Lowered the sound of the sad violin emote. Updated the ambience audio with various settlements in Eternum. Updated detection for what kind of surface a player is walking on to better align audio. Fix an issue that caused the corruption breach music to keep playing after the event was completed. Whew, thank you for your support. We'll see you in Eternum. And guys, I really hope you guys appreciate this because I Now, it's all my choice. Don't get me wrong, but man, I'm losing my voice. I can't wait to make a video tomorrow so you guys can check it out. It's going to probably be pretty funny. So don't miss it. Don't forget, folks, like and subscribe if you want to continue getting these kind of videos, updates, guides, how to make money, what to expect with new changes, all kinds of good stuff. And I just wanted to say one more time, I appreciate all of you guys. I've been really pissy about some stuff lately and really haven't been talking much about it, but I've been complaining to my YouTube manager. And I just want to say, you know what really makes me the happiest and what really has the biggest impact is the fact that you guys appreciate my videos. You guys appreciate the information and you guys see and appreciate the hard work that I put into all this. And I appreciate that you appreciate that. I appreciate that you appreciate and all that fun stuff. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I cannot wait for this update tomorrow, and I hope to see you guys out there in a tournament. And I hope that the numbers continue to rise because this game deserves a comeback. I'll talk to you guys later, and I will see you and catch you in the next video. Bye, everyone.